Yo, what's up, ID, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at Django. Alright, so this is going to cover the basics things you need to know to become a Django developer. So without further ado, let's just get started. So the first one to make sure it is want to create a folder, which I've already done already, and I've also activated my virtual environment. So if you know how to do that, I'll drop a link in the description below. So in order for us to put this, you have to make sure you have Python installed. So you have to make sure you have Python installed. All right, so either for your Mac, Linux, or Windows, make sure you download Python. Then what you want to do is head over to Django. Yeah, click on download. Then you can basically just do what Python install Django. You can basically just do Python install Django. I already have that, so it's not going to install. So I can do Python install Django. All right, so this is going to just update a while, so you can go ahead and just do Python install Django. Okay, so that is what we want to do, and once you have that installed, you can now dive into the tutorial. Okay, so now let's just get started. So what I want to do is you can go to documentation here. So there's a tutorial on setting it up. So that's what we're just going to use, but you're not going to like follow everything from scratch. So first there is I will just look at how we can create our project. So in order for us to create our project, there's something we can do. We have something called Django admin. So once you've installed Django, let me zoom this in so you can see very well. So once you install Django, you should be able to access something called Django admin. Okay, so this Django admin has a lot of commands like this. So the first one we want to make use of is what is start project. So this is going to allow us start our project. So we create the project that we want. So we need to do Django admin start project. Then I'll call this to do projects. Okay, now this has been created. When I ls, you see I have what to do projects here, so I can basically just sit into to do projects. By ls, now you can see I have my to do project folder here. So what I can do is I can open this up in my editor. So I'm going to open it up my editor over here. Sorry, it's going to open up the folder documents develop. Okay, so to do projects, I'm just going to open up to do project here. Okay, now structure of this, and just zoom it in so everybody can see what is going on. So the structure of this is you can see we have the init.py, which is obviously going to be empty because this is like the initialize this stuff like initialize the project. So when you want to like make some extra configuration or some stuff, this is where you come to. Then we have ASGI. So this this is like a config for your project. So like a config for so it exposes the ASGI callable as what as a model level variable named application. So this is like the core features of your Django application. So then we have the settings. So these are all the Django settings. Then we have the urls.py. Okay, so we have urls.py. So this urls.py here allows us to register many URL for our application within our project. So Django is like a type of let's say software framework that allows you to create app inside your project. So this is an app inside the project. So you can have countless app. You can have an app called user. You can have an app called to do. You can have an app called API or so wherever you can have them registered in just one project. So that is what Django does. So you register them with this particular URL here. Then we have WSGI sync core features, and we have the money.py. So these are what built-in stuff. So once this has been done, we can go ahead and test if this works. So we can do Python. So obviously Python 3, so say manage.py run server. So what it does is manage.py does this like what? This like what I don't know how to explain this, but this is how we can run our server, run our migration, run anything, any type of command I want to run. We use the manage.py file. Okay, so I'm just click on that and click run. You can see what's it? So it said the port is already in use, so I think let me just deactivate the ports. Okay, so we can just run it again. You can see it's going to run on this particular port here. So I can put this up in my browser. Okay, so when I open this up in my browser, you see the Django as well successfully installed. Okay, that means so we are saying this because the page is being set to what, the bug is set to what, true. So meaning if we change the debug to false, you will see what's obvious another thing, so which is this place. You can see false. And when you press false, the server is going to auto reload. And when you refresh this, you have nothing. Okay, so you can return back and you can show that. What happened? Okay, yeah, so the reason why we have nothing is because our allowed hosts must be set. So it's like when you host a project online, so it's like when you host your project online, so I will say www.yoururl.com. so once you set that off, you need to allow them in your allowed host before they can work. Okay, so for now let's just return back to, because I'm building development, so this is going to be a debug. Okay, all right, so now like I was saying, in our Django we can create what applications inside of it. So now let's go and create applications. So now for us to do that, we do python-py, then we call start app, and we call our application name. So let me just leave this all running. So I'll create a new window. Now I just need to I don't know if Django still works here. Django admin, yeah, it doesn't work. So I need to like activate my source again. Okay, I'm just going to clear. Okay, so this is my to-do. Okay, wait, what did I call it? My to-do. Okay, my to-do app. Let's search for the directory as my to-do app. Source. Okay, just needed that /. All right, so clear this, cd back into my to-do okay, send it to the to-do project. All right, okay, so now we are back here. We can do python 3 manage.py. They say start app. Same way with the start project, but this one we say start app. So call our app name to do. So this is just going to create another folder entirely. So this is our application folder on the zone. So that is what we're going to do. So now we've looked at that, we can create projects and apps. So now let's just dive into building our to-do application. Okay, so now that we've created our app, so the first thing we want to do is want to register our projects right in this place. So we need to go, we are in the urls.py, which is in the settings itself, so that is where we are. So now what we can do is in the path side, we want to import something we call include, right? Something we call include. Then we want to have path. So this part is not going to be our to do. That is not going to import us to the to-do.url. So once this is done, there's another thing we need to do, which is we need to head over to the settings.py in our to-do project. So in our to-do project settings.py, then right under here we can just call our app name. So what's our app name? To do. So we are registering about our app. So these are the installed apps. We are registering them. So adding the to do there. Okay, so once that is done, I think we are good to go. So the first thing I want us to do is I want us to have a URL. So in order for us to have a URL, you need to go to the to-do. Now we are in the to-do app itself. So I want to create a file called urls.py. Oh, sorry, not in the to-do project, in the to-do itself, urls.py. Okay, so in this url.py, we can basically just copy what we have from this place. So we can copy this, or we can paste it here. So remove all the words we don't want. We don't want admin, and we don't want include. Okay, so basically we don't want this two here. So this is just what we need. So the first one to do is want to have a path that is just like when you visit our website, the first link you see, the first route to it. So that's going to be it. So we want to call views.index. I want to say our name should what, view name should what, index. View name should what, index. So we need to now want import view. So from dots import view. So from this dot, where is this dot coming from? It's saying basically saying from the same directory they are. So import view.py. So this is view.py. Now inside this view.py, we now need to go ahead and create the index stuff that is required. So we say index. Now I can say return HTTP response. So we want to call HTTP response here. I'm going to call it, let's just say hello world. Right, so we have a while importing HTTP response, you can see at the top HTTP Django.http import response was imported. So that's what we're going to use. Now we should go to our browser and we refresh. This doesn't work. Then we go to like to do. We have an error here, so let's look at our terminal. Our terminal here say there's no model name to do. We've already added it, so let's just close it and let's run the server again. All right, so no errors. So let's refresh. You can see it says index takes 0 position argument, port 1 was given. Sorry, that was for the other tutorial. Okay. I guess, so do we need to pass the requests? Okay, yeah, we need to pass the requests. My bad. Okay. Yeah, we need to pass the request. So now you can see we have what hello world being rendered on the screen. So this is like our first page that I want to see. So now, since we now understand how we can create routes and all this stuff, so let's design our form a little bit. So I'm going to copy an HTML that I have already. So that's what we are going to be using. I'm going to copy it, and don't worry, everything will be linked in the GitHub repository. Okay, now in order for us to use like an HTML design, there's something we need to do. So there's something with I don't know how to explain. There's something with Django. So in Django, in order for you to use like an HTML file, first thing you need to do is create a template folder. So we say templates here. So inside this template folder, now we have to create another folder called to do. So this to do we are creating here is actually the yes, needs to match. I believe needs to match the name of your app name. So that's why you call it to do again. You understand? Then inside us to do now, we can now have something we call index.html. My bad. Index.html. Okay, so I'm just going to grab everything I have here. Stick it. Okay, so for now I'm going to explain what everything is doing at the moment, but for now let's just keep this here. So the first thing I want to explain is now you can look at this top here. So we're going to use something called we're going to be using templates. So template extending. So we're going to extend what the template, because initially sometimes you can have a website that has same header, same footer, same header, same footer, or and you don't want to repeat yourself. So Django has this covered by using something we call the extend block. So we call this block content or something, or we call it just block template tags or block. So use the extend. So this extend looks for a particular file called the base.html, so which we are going to create right now. So let's create the base.html. Okay, so in base.html is just a basic HTML file. All right, there's the basic HTML file. The difference is I have Tailwind CSS installed. I'm using Tailwind CSS for the styling. Now you can see now in the body. So basically in the body, I have a block content and I have a end block. So anything that we write when we extend this particular page is going to be written in between them like this. Anything that we write is going to be written in between them. So that is the idea of block content. So it's going to return this. It's going to always give us a background color of gray and this footer. If you have a footer, it's also going to give us that as well. So it's always going to return that as long as it is what extend this particular template file. Okay. So how can we show this? So initially when if I try to show this, we'll get some errors here. So what we can do first is in fact let's show you and see what happens. So I want to say a return render request, then we're going to do index.html. So if I should refresh this, you can see our to do page, our to do website now is here. So now based on what I was saying if I should change this like red and I refresh this, you see it is red. You can see it's like green and refresh this, You can see it is green. But and now the idea of what I'm saying is like I should change this to like something like say about us.html, right? I can say I want to what? I want to extend what? So what are we going to extend? We're going to extend the to do base.html. So that's what we're going to extend. So once we've extended that, the next we need to do is what? Just specify what a block content. So we're going to say block content. Okay. So for every block content, there's a what? There's the end block content. So there's the end block. So we call what end block here. So make sure that you always have what's your end block. Now anything that we write in this place, I can just say h1. I can say about us, right? Now you can go to my views. I can create a new method. I'll call this about us. So this would accept what request. Now we can return what render. So this is going to be a request to do about us. Then last we need to do is now we need to set it in our URL. So I can just copy this. This is going to be like slash about us about. Then we call the about us from the views. Then we just name the route name about us. So when I click on this, you see it takes me back to this place. Okay. So now if I should refresh and I should go to like about, or I believe maybe to do slash about. Okay, so yeah, you can see it's showing that our route name is here. Yeah, show that our route name is here, but it's not taking about to page. So few minutes. Okay, so I think the problem was because I have this / here. So if I remove that and I refresh, yeah, that should work. Now you can see is inheriting the template space template file that we created previously. So that is the work of the base templates. So let's just go back to our page. Okay, so now what we want to do now is, in order for us to be able to create our data, we need to be able to have our database. So in this database, we're going to be creating something called models. So we need to create a model. So in your settings to do project, in your app to do project, so we want to have models. So there's a model file, models.py file by default. So in that model.py file, I want to create something called our to do. So this to do we extend from the models.model. Then we can now go ahead and say we want to have a text which is max length of like 200, and we say we want to have a boolean field which is by default false by default. So we can basically just say the first string self return title. So when we check this in our admin page, we should be return what the title was. Of course, if you don't return this, basically just get something. You get something like this: objects dot all dot something like that. That's what we're going to get, but we need to do that. Okay. So once this is done, we can go ahead and we can close this server here. We can say python manage.py make migrations. Okay, so that is as make migration for us. Now you can say manage.py migrate. So now this is going to migrate everything in our database, including the to do that we created, which is this one here. Now I want us to create a super admin using Django. So from this super admin, we're going to be adding our to do file to do data. So I'm going to say Django admin, right? Okay, no, we can do python manage.py. I can see create super admin, I believe. Is it create super? Okay, so create super user, not create super admin. So it's create super user. Okay, so I can just give my username, which is the precious. I can provide an email address. You can provide your password. Make sure you provide your password. Yes, use it. Okay, so it has been created, the file has been created successfully, so we can just run our server again. All right, so server is running successfully. Now I can go to /admin. You can see I have my admin login, so I can go ahead and log in now. Now you can see we can have list of users that have been created. In fact, I can go ahead and create another user basically in this place. All right, so I can create another user if I want to. So I can just say like, okay, create this user. So when I click on this, see I have the user created already, but this is not where we are. Okay, so now that we've created our to-do model, we are supposed to be seeing it in this place here. So how do we register that? Oh, sorry, we need to go to the we need to go to something we call apps.py. I believe, isn't apps.py? We need to go to something that, because I'm trying to figure out where admin.py. Yeah, so we need to go to admin.py. Then we need to register our model. So in order for us to do that, we do admin. So in order for us to do that, we do admin.site.register. So what we're trying to register, we're trying to register what the to-do model. So why this has been written here, we need to import the to-do model itself. Yeah, so we need to import the to-do model itself. So we say from to-do dot models import what to do. Okay, now if we should check our browser now, when I refresh, you see we have what to do here. So I can create another to do. I can say learn Django. Okay, so you can see it's showing now. So we've successfully created our model. So now what I want to do is now I want to print out our data from the database, so that our user can see it. Okay, so now that is done, so now we can go ahead and fetch to-dos. Okay, so in order for us to fetch, you say to-dos equals to what? to-do.objects.all. So this is basically how we do that. So in order for our to-do to work, we need to import the to-do. So we say dot models import to-do. So once we have that here, so what we need to do is you can pass it inside here. So I can just say to-dos is equals to what to do. Now how can we render them in the HTML file? So in our HTML file here, wherever we want to render them, which is basically in this to-do list here, we're going to call what? The for loop. So basically this has what? A for loop function inside our what? Inside this template tag. It has what? A for loop function. So see, for to do in what? To do's, which is our what? Model name. Is our model name. So it is going to loop everything that we can. Or we also have something called what? End for, which is it? End for. So once this is looping, so what do we want to do? We want to show what? The to-do type 2, and also want to show if the to-do has been completed, which sort where is it? Let's find okay, so yeah, which is what to-do completed. All right, don't worry, and the template is available. I'll share it in the GitHub. I'll share the GitHub. Okay, now if I should refresh this, see I have an error. I said my computer is not found because we just imported like stuff. So I'm going to remove it. I'm going to remove this. Okay, same thing for delete as well. Okay, so for delete as well, I'm going to remove this. Okay, now you can see we have what? Django. You can see it is crossed because we've selected it as what? Completed. So if I should save this as not completed, you're going to have this. Okay, good. So this is that. So now how do we register our model ourselves? Register data to the model ourselves. We do that by sending what? A post request. So we can do that by saying if the request that we are sending is a post request. So if request.method, right, is a what? Is a post request. If that is a post request, you can say the type 2. Want to grab the type 2. So you say request post get. We're getting what? The type 2. Okay, so how are we getting the type 2? When we go to our form here, you can see where is it? It's meant to be up here. Okay, so we're going to go to our form. You can see the name is what? Type 2. So this is how we're getting it. Make sure the name is equals to what? Type 2. Okay, so name equals to type 2. Then we can see the to do should be equals to what? To do object dot create. We can do this, but there's also a shorter way. We're just doing to do title equals to what title. Then we can what? Make sure you will cursive. Then we can just return redirect to index. So this is just rubbish that this AI is in here. So instead, let's just redirect it back. We don't need to show this thing. So redirect it back to what index. And this index, where are you getting this index from? If we check our url.py, we have index as the name here. So if that is not defined, it's not going to work. So now that has been done, I've explained that the name, the title is getting from the name here. So for our every form request, it's going to be a post request. And make sure you are passing out your CSRF token, because if I should remove this and I try and test this application out, so I should remove it and I try and test this application out. I say new user. You can see I have an error that says CSRF verification failed. So this is like a security measure that is very needed. You're building your application, so we need to include what CSRF token. Okay, so now I can go ahead and send this. Sorry, let me just refresh this page. I can see name flutter. Okay, when I add it, you can see that's been added now. So you can see we have what name flutter here. Okay, good. So next thing we can work on is the mark as completed. So now we can see def, we can see mark completed. So the mark completed there, we are going to have something we call a request, obviously. So that request is going to need the request ID. So we are going to say to do is equals to to do. We're going to get the object by the ID. So we're getting the to do by its ID. So if the ID of the to do is 1, we're going to pass 1 here. So it's going to give us the data of what of the 1. So now we can now say to do dot completed. So we are catching the completed from our model. But instead of putting through, we say no. We say equals to, so basically opposite of whatever the to do is. So if the to do is false in this case, I'll say not the to do is going to give us true. If it is true in this place, I'll say not to do completed is going to give us what false. So that is basically how it is. So now you can just save it, right? That we can return back to our what index. Now the next thing we need to do is we have to add it in our URL. So we need to add it in our URL. So this is going to be something like this. So we say path. First we want to do is we want to go to what mark completed, right? Now you want to pass, we are passing our ID in this place. So we are passing the ID here. So we need to pass the ID in the URL as well. So we need to specify that this is going to be an integer. So to do ID. So when the user visit like mark completed slash write your name, it's going to throw an error because it's not an integer, because it was specified that this is an integer. Okay, so we can just say views mark completed and so on. So this is like the basic stuff that we're doing here. So we do views, then we select what mark completed method, or give it a name, and just need to give it comma. Okay, so that has been done. So next thing we can do is we can go to our index.html here, and we can update our mark as completed, so which is going to be here. So how do we call URLs? So we say URL, call the tag. So now we can call the URL method. Now we can just call mark completed. So where is mark completed coming from? Okay, my bad. So this is just the so this mark completed is, again, remember, is not from this place. It's from the URL file itself, which is the name here, which is mark completed here. If the name is this rubbish here, that's what you're going to add in our HTML file. But for us, it is what mark completed. Okay, so mark completed. Remember that our mark completed method is accepting 2 parameters, the ID. So we need to pass what the ID as well. So how do we do that? We say that I'll just pass what to do ID. It's as simple as that. So we put in our URL as a string, and we pass out to do ID as what as an integer. So there's no need for codes at all on it. So it's as simple as that. Now if I should refresh this and I click on 1, you can see it has updated. So if I should go to the learn Django again, you can see that's check completed. Okay, if I check Flutter, you can see it is not completed, but if I should check here, it's completed, and if I should refresh, you can see it has updated. Okay, so this has been done. So the last thing we'll look at is how we can delete it. So deleting is also straightforward. So deleting is also straightforward. So we need to go to our views here. So we go to our views, so you can see function delete. So we just call the delete. So this delete also will accept the request and the what ID. And we can just call today equals to do object. We get the object by the ID. Then we go ahead and call what the delete method on it. We go ahead and call the delete method on it. So it's as simple as that. Same thing we need to do now is go to the URLs, and we can just have our delete. Then it's going to be what integer to do ID, select it, and so on and so forth. Now we can go to our index.html here. We can go ahead and update our delete method, which is the third form. So which is the third form. You see that for every form there's what CSRF token. So we need to just call URL delete. Okay, so delete. Delete. Then we need to pass our to do ID. So it's as simple as this. Okay, so URL is as simple as that. So I can refresh and I can delete now. You can see that deleted. I see that deleted. I can see new ones. Okay, so yeah, that is basically everything about Django basics. Not everything entire. So there's authentication, there's middleware, there's so on and so forth. So but this is the basics on Django. So if you want me to type more into Django, you can leave a comment for me, and I'm going to create a long tutorial on Django. Okay, so if you like this video, please make sure you like, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Peace.